they're clean, okay? Then I have my door. So my door, I just show them that the handle operates on the outside and the inside. Door's securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. The hinges are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. The window works as it should. My weather stripping inside my door is all securely mounted, not worn, torn, or frayed. And then I can slam the door, okay? From there, I come down to my fuel tank. Securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking. The mounting straps are securely mounted. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged, or worn, torn, or frayed on the gaskets. No missing bolts. My cap is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking, and it has a rubber gasket and a safety chain. You don't have to remove the cap, just tell him that, okay? A lot of times Ben he'll remove it, but you don't have to. Just make sure you tell him it's got a rubber gasket and a safety chain, it's not leaking. Steps are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and there are no loose objects on my steps that would cause me to slip. Then I have a side marker blinker 4-way flasher, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's amber in color. And then I'll go back inside here and I've got to talk about my exhaust. My exhaust is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. All the clamps are tight. It's not leaking, and I would look for black soot to indicate a leak. When I talk about exhaust, I say black soot, okay? Then I have my battery box, which is right here. My battery box, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. And I would check my batteries and my cables once a week. And I don't see any signs of leaks on my battery. Then I have my catwalk and steps, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. And there are no loose objects that would cause me to slip. I have my longitudinal frame, and I have my cross members that go across the axis that way. They're all securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. There are no illegal welds, and there are no missing bolts, okay? I have 3 drive shafts, okay? 3 of them. 3 drive shafts are securely mounted.
Where are those at?
So one is here, one is here, and there's another in between the 2 differentials for each axle on the rear.
Okay.
So those are my 3 drive shafts, okay? So they're securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. They're properly lubricated, and there are no foreign objects wrapped around my drive shafts, okay? From there, you see this guy right here? This bar running side to side. See that bar? That's my torsion bar. Torsion bar is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and the bushing's not worn, torn, or frayed. No missing bolts, okay? Then, now I'm gonna do air brakes, suspension, and then I'm gonna do my tires and wheels, working my way out. I only have to talk about one axle. I only have to describe parts on one axle, so I don't do both. So when I finish this axle, I usually do the front axle because it's the nearest to me. When I finish all that, I would tell them I would inspect this one the same as the other, but I don't have to. I just tell them I would, okay?
Okay.
So air brakes, I've got my air line. My air line's securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, or worn, torn, or frayed, and it's not leaking. My brake chamber is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking, and the clamp is tight, okay? Then I have my slack adjuster right here. Slack adjuster securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking. And then I have my push rod on the bottom coming out of the chamber. You might can see it on the other side. From the chamber to the slack adjuster, there's that round push rod that's got the fork on the end of it.
Okay. You got to point everything out when you do your.
You do. Point to or touch. You don't have to touch it, but when you point to it, make sure you point directly to the part you're talking about. So there's no doubt in his mind, you know. So I don't want to point to my brake chamber and call it my airline, right? So I'm pointing directly at the part I'm talking about. So my push rod's securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's got 2 dowel pins with Carter keys that connect the slack adjuster to the push rod. And then there's a key phrase that I've got to say: with my brakes released, I shouldn't be able to pull that push rod more than 1 inch. And that lets them know that my slack adjuster is properly adjusted, but it's the push rod I have to pull against. I shouldn't be able to pull it more than 1 inch with my brakes released. Okay, so that's all my air brakes. The exact same on an A pre-trip, B pre-trip, or on the trailer, or on a C pre-trip. Air brakes are all the same. We're going to do that, say the exact same thing every time. Okay. Now suspension is a little different on the B pre-trip versus the A pre-trip or the C pre-trip. The main difference is this guy, that airbag right there. Okay. On the front of the truck up there, I've just got a front leaf spring hanger and a rear leaf spring hanger. Here I've got a front leaf spring hanger and then an airbag. Okay, that's the only difference between an A or a B. And back there, it's just gonna be a front hanger and a back hanger, no airbags. Okay, so I'll start with my front leaf spring hanger. It's securely mounted, not bent, broken, or cracked, no missing bolts. Then I have my leaf springs themselves. They're securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. There are no illegal welds, and there's another key phrase: they're not shifted or missing. Okay, and then in the middle, if you get back and look in here, so if you get over here where you can see that leaf spring, you see your 2 U-bolts?
Right here.
Those 2 U-bolts that are, yeah, those U-bolts. You got 2 of them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So my U-bolts are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and the 4 nuts are in place and tight on the bottom of them, okay? All right, from there, I've got my airbag. So I've got to tell him how this airbag is mounted. So it's got a top plate and a bottom plate here, and here, top and bottom. Top plate is mounted to the frame securely, not cracked, broken, or damaged. And the bottom plate, there's a bracket that comes underneath off the leaf spring that mounts that bottom plate. So they're both securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and my airbag itself is not worn, torn, or frayed, and it's not leaking. Okay? All right, so that's suspension. So now I'll go inside and talk about, and you can do this 1 or 2 ways. I've got my inside rim I've got to talk about, and I've got to talk about an outside rim. I usually talk about them both at the same time. So I'll say my inside rim and my outside rim are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. There are no illegal welds, and there's no visible gap or rust between the bead of the tire and the rim. Okay. Then I've got my brake drum. So inside there, I've got my brake drum and my brake pads or linings. My brake drum is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. There are no illegal welds, no foreign objects or contaminants, and there's no missing hardware on my brake drum. That's another key phrase, no missing hardware. My brake linings are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. No illegal or no foreign objects, no foreign contaminants, and they're not worn dangerously thin. That's my key phrase on them, not worn dangerously thin. So now I've got my bud space in between my 2 tires. So my bud space is even all the way around, and there are no foreign objects trapped in my bud space. Okay? So now I've got a tire, securely mounted, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. my tread wear is even, and I have a minimum of 230 seconds of tread depth on my tire that I would check with tread depth gauge. On the steering axle, it's 430 seconds. Everywhere else, it's 2. Okay. Then I have my lug nuts. None of them are missing. They're all securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and I would look for rust trails or shiny threads to indicate a loose lug nut. My axle hub seal here, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking, and all the bolts and nuts are in place and tight. Okay? I would do the same inspection on this axle as the other. And I have a mud flap. It's securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, or worn, torn, or frayed. It's got reflective tape on it. Okay? Then, back here I've got 2 reflectors, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. They're red in color. And then I need to tell him everything this light does for a living. So that's a running light, brake light, turn signal, 4-way flasher. That's everything it does for a living. Securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's red in color. That's a B pre-trip. That's it. That's the whole shebang.
That's it?
Nope, it's not. I'm not finished. Up here, what did I forget in here?
Valve stem.
There you go. I'll take some knuckles. Good job. I got how many? 2, right?
Yes, sir.
I got 1, 2. Sometimes they're opposing each other. There it is.
There's one.
Got 2 valve stems, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, not leaking, and they have metal caps. I would check my air pressure with a tire gauge. So, whether it has a metal cap on it or not, tell him it does. Okay? Because it's supposed to. So he just needs to know that you know it should.
Okay.
We see trucks when we're testing of all varieties, of all ages, and all different types of condition. But as long as they tell us what should be there, we're good. Now, is it roadworthy? We can't go out on the road with a truck that's not roadworthy. The lights are not working or something like that. But make sure you tell them it's got a cap. Now I'm finished with a B pre-trip. Okay. So that was the only thing I forgot. So now we'll do the trailer.